Welcome to About California Building Standards Commission, our first in a series of educational videos designed to help you understand the Commission, the Building Standards Code adoption process, and Title 24. Whether you're a building code official, architect, manufacturer, or builder, we hope you will find this series helpful and educational. The California Building Standards Commission, commonly known as CBSC, is a commission within the Department of General Services. Its mission is to produce sensible and usable building standards and administrative regulations that implement or enforce those standards. Additionally, as provided in law, CBSC's main duty is administering and overseeing California's building code adoption process. This includes conducting the formal rulemaking process, including establishing code adoption timelines, conducting public meetings, and approving and adopting building standards. Resolving conflict, duplication, and overlap in building standards. Codification, which includes organizing approved codes in a logical manner in preparation for publication. And publishing the approved and codified building standards in the California Building Standards Code, which is the 24th of the 28 titles of the entire suite of California Code of Regulations. The California Building Standards Code is therefore commonly known as Title 24. Title 24 consists of multiple parts that address different disciplines of construction, such as plumbing, fire and panic safety, and sustainability. It is published in its entirety every 3 years and includes internationally developed model codes, national standards, and California amendments. This happens during the triennial code adoption cycle, which we will discuss further in a future video called The Rulemaking Process. So let's get started with an overview of the Commission. The Commission is comprised of 10 commissioners who are appointed by the Governor and represent building industry professionals, the public, and government officials. Building standards law mandates that the Governor shall appoint one architect, one mechanical, electrical, or fire protection engineer, one structural engineer, one licensed contractor, one member from organized labor in the building trades, one local jurisdiction building official from either a city or a county, one local fire official, and 3 public members, at least one of whom must be a person with a physical disability. In addition, at least one of these members shall also be experienced and knowledgeable in each of the following disciplines: energy efficiency standards, sustainable design, construction, and operation, and barrier-free architecture to ensure public buildings are accessible to and usable by persons with physical disabilities. All members of the Commission serve without compensation, but receive per diem reimbursement for Commission-related travel. The Secretary of Government Operations, or the Secretary's representative, serves as the chair of the Commission. The chairperson is a voting member if there is a tie vote. The Commission holds quarterly public meetings throughout the year. At these meetings, state agencies present their proposed building standards and request approval so their regulations can be published and become enforceable in Title 24. CBSC has a staff of 15 that carries out the day-to-day operations of the Commission and is led by an executive director who is appointed by the Commission. The main obligation of the executive director is to execute the will of the Commission by interpreting and implementing the policies of the Commission, managing the technical and administrative staff, representing the Commission before the legislature, all levels of state and local governments, and the private sector, ensuring other state agencies comply with regulations for adopting building standards and that their proposed building codes are justified and not burdensome upon the public. And lastly, providing administrative direction for the day-to-day work of the Commission, including contractual agreements and budgeting. The executive director is assisted by a deputy executive director who oversees the technical staff and rulemaking processes, and a staff services manager who oversees administrative staff and office management duties, including human resources, contracts, and budgets. Our technical staff consists of employees who have a range of expertise in architecture, construction, the trades, legislation, and rulemaking. This team interfaces with state agencies during the rulemaking process, ensuring that proposed regulations meet the requirements of law, organizes the rulemaking files for review, develops building standards, which CBSC has the authority to propose, and prepares rulemakings that have been through the agency amendment and public review process for presentation to the Commission for approval. After new regulations are approved, technical staff will then file approved building standards with the Secretary of State, work with publishers of Title 24 to ensure that the approved regulations are properly codified and then printed for dissemination and use by architects, engineers, builders, inspectors, building officials, and others, and manage the receipt, documenting, and filing of local ordinances, which are building codes adopted by cities, towns, and counties, including provisions above and beyond Title 24. In addition, our technical staff provides training and education to code users, including building officials, design professionals, tradespeople, and state agency code developers. CBSC training includes subjects such as code change updates, how to use Title 24, and how to develop and propose building standards. The administrative staff of CBSC is made up of employees who are experienced in office management and support functions. The members of this team coordinate and facilitate public meetings of the Commission, including subcommittee and code advisory committee meetings. This includes setting up the live video and audio broadcasts, issuing public meeting notices and agendas, and compiling all the materials necessary for such meetings. This staff also manages CBSC's website, which is a window for the public to access all things Title 24 and CBSC, produces educational publications for use by state agencies and the public, issues CalCode Quarterly, our newsletter designed to keep in touch with our constituents and state jurisdictions that have a relationship with CBSC, tracks legislative bills that may impact Title 24, and administers the Building Standards Administration Special Revolving Fund. This fund was established in 2009 by Senate Bill 1473 and is intended to support CBSC's education and outreach activities with an emphasis on green building standards. This is why it's sometimes called the Green Fund. In addition to the commissioners and staff, there are 6 discipline-specific code advisory committees that perform technical review of proposed building standards before they are considered by the Commission. The committees are established by the Commission every 3 years for the following specialties: accessibility, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, and energy, structural design and lateral forces, health facilities, green building, and building, fire, and other. Each committee has a maximum of 9 voting members, none of whom are commissioners or staff of CBSC. There may also be non-voting ex officio members from involved state agencies. Each committee has subject matter expert representatives from the public and the building trades. Working together, the executive, technical, and administrative staff provide the Commission and its committees with all necessary support required for the adoption and approval of building standards for Title 24. So that's it in a nutshell. CBSC is a small and vital commission that produces an essential outcome, the building standards for the state of California. In another video session, we'll explain the details of the rulemaking processes that we touched upon here. As always, please contact us if you need assistance with rulemaking procedures, help in understanding and utilizing the codes, or if you just have a question about the Commission. Thanks for joining us today.